after a horrible victory against Leeds, dropping points against Southampton, and then again losing to PSV, really needed to get on with a win, and that is what they delivered. Arsenal 5-0, Nottingham Forest. What an easy win to go ahead with. Let's start with again that Nottingham Forest performance, of course, because bottom of the league, they renewed their new manager's contract. They've gotten like this bucket load of players, and we're getting towards like halfway into the season now, and they really haven't shown like, do they have any game plan? Like, what do you see when you see Nottingham Forest on the pitch?
Let's start with saying we are still top of the table. Now I'll talk about Forest. One of the things that I've not really understood is why would they want to go ahead and sign a Serge Aurier, Jesse Lingard, types of players who you would not really want to play. They have shown capabilities to play at certain clubs, but if you're new to the game, if you have just come into the league, you would probably want better players who could use your club as more of a stepping stone rather than someone who's trying to coast in their career or reaching sunset or has hit a plateau. I also understand you may not be able to attract the top talent, but I feel that with their transfers, it's not really been great. It's just been whoever is available, whoever is willing to sign for us. Hey, we are playing in the Premier League. Do you want to play? That's how they went about their business, and I think it will reflect in their performances like it did today.
And you're right, because the pundits at the end of the game were talking about like how at this level, especially when you're kind of in a relegation dogfight, it's really important to play, for the club, for the badge. And when you've basically overhauled your entire team, expecting that sort of club loyalty from a new player coming in might be too much to ask for, especially for a club that really hasn't had much of a history in the recent past, right? Where do you where do you see Nottingham Forest? Do you think they have any shot at survival? I mean,
I'd be happy if they survive because it is going to be very difficult for them if they drop down financially. Apart from that, I don't really have any loyalty or any hate towards Forest. So,
yeah, as long as Steve Cooper figures out his starting 11, I think they have a good shot still, because they have a quality squad. But let's move on to that Arsenal performance. 5 goals. Okay, first off, injury worries. We still don't know what's really going on with Saka over there. But Reece Nelson coming on as a substitute, 2 goals, 1 assist. I think his first goal since he scored against Forest in the League Cup for Arsenal like 2 years ago or something. And the first goal in the Premier League since he scored against Liverpool. I don't even know how long ago. What an absolute peach of an attacking performance today. Jesus still not scoring, got a couple of assists, but still no goals for him.
they had two very good chances, and man, it sucks to see your striker not being able to net in goals when you have everyone else who's like banging it in. Like that Thomas Partey peach again. The 2 goals from Reece Nelson, like wonderfully worked goals. The first goal that actually kicked us off, the Martinelli header, diving header. It was an improvised move. You did not expect him to go down so low and take that header, but hey, I'm not complaining. Score
Yeah,
more.
I mean, exactly. I mean, showing great attacking prowess. I mean, Nottingham really did not. Steve Cooper tried to salvage it towards the end, saying that they had a couple of. They really had no chances whatsoever. This had to be a win from the get go, but the dominant victory is what I think a lot of us were hoping for, given the last 3 games that we've had. So it's really good to see that, we really came out all guns blazing, really went out all in the attack. Arteta again saying that we probably should have had a couple more before the halftime, but not faltering this time around, coming into the second half and like pushing on, which is again
Exactly.
really what we needed. My only kind of concern out of this game was just Gabriel just still looks shaky. I mean, at 1 goal up, we could have easily conceded
Yeah, that move,
with that
that was a
horrible back.
horrible
I
move.
don't know what he was trying to do there. He really needs to sort himself out. But outside of that, this is essentially a really perfect performance for Arsenal.
It was a tight performance, except for a few shakeups. And I really loved how Ben White was just like cruising along. I think Ben White is just going to be unsung. He's going to have the calmest mind ever on a football field. And as long as he's playing and he's on the pitch for us, I'm more assured about our defense.
I mean, at this rate, he's basically making claims to go to the World Cup. You know, Southgate
Has
wasn't at
to.
this game. He went to
He
Manchester
has
instead.
to.
But yeah, I mean, Ben White has to be on that plane. He
He
has to
can
be in
be
that
right
World Cup
center
squad.
back. He can be a right back. He could also technically be a pivot in defensive midfield.
Yep.
He can do way too many things. Let's. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I wouldn't be bothered really if he goes or not because I don't really support the English national team. So making my agenda very clear.
Yeah, and then the last player that we want to talk about is Martinelli. Do you see him getting into that Brazil squad?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, his performances, at least this season, definitely warrant a shout at the squad. I don't know whether he makes it to the starting lineup, but he does make a case for himself to get at least a few games, a few starts, maybe substitute appearances, depending on where Brazil end up in the World Cup. Everyone has an expectation that Brazil will do well. That's tradition, right?
Yeah,
A
I
Brazilian
mean,
team not doing well is an off chance, but that's been happening for a while. This Brazil team with talent that seems so fresh and so attack minded, I think they have a very good chance at going all the way, but I'm not making
no
any guess.
promises there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no promises there.
So yeah, let us know whether you think Ben White and Martinelli should be going to the World Cup and whether Nottingham Forest can actually survive given just how shaky they've been so far. And thank you so much again for joining, and we will see you guys next time.